Hey, mamas. Welcome back to the Mom Brew podcast, the place where we sip the real, the raw, and the beautiful parts of motherhood, one honest conversation at a time. I'm your host, Becca, and today's episode's a deeply personal one and a heavy one, but also a healing one. Today, we are talking about something that many moms carry quietly, becoming a mother while grieving the loss of your own mom. Whether your mom passed away before your babies were born, during your motherhood journey, or you're navigating motherhood without that maternal support, this episode's for you. Now, I do want to say that this episode touches on grief and loss. So take a deep breath, grab your coffee, your tissues, and sit down, squat down, or lie down, and know that you are safe here. So, here we're going to start out immediately with our momming moment, and where I will explain to y'all that I am far too understanding on this topic. On November 17th of 2024, I lost my mother. I watched her take her very last breath, and it was the most difficult and most hardest thing that I've ever had to experience and deal with in my entire life. And it's now February of 2026, and I'm still currently having the hardest and most difficult time with it. So please, excuse me, understand and know that you are far from alone, and that this grief journey is something that you do not have to do alone, ever. I can't express that enough. I'm available if anybody needs to talk. I'm only a message or a call away anytime. So, momming on, I want y'all to tell me some things on your grief without mama days. Excuse me. What do you miss most about your own mom? What moments you wish she was there? First with your child or even yourself. I know I personally have those days way too much with myself and with my daughter. I still get so excited to call my mom and tell her about everything, and I just can't. It hurts deeper than any hurt that I've ever felt before in the depths of my soul. But what about the invisible grief moments? The wanting to call her, holidays, hearing you sound just like your mom. I feel these are the moments in motherhood that hit differently when your mom isn't here. Like when your baby's sick and you want someone to assure you, or when you do something your mom used to do and suddenly feel her in the room. It hits so deep and hard. Again, another feeling I have became way too familiar with. So once again, let's discuss and hit this one head on. How about how society just makes us feel like we have to be so strong, and we have to be like the strongest creatures on the planet with our grief. And like nothing ever affects us, and we're just supposed to be these robotic creatures and treat us like we're not normal women with real hearts and real feelings. I just can't ever understand that. But in all honesty, at the same time, in my mother brain, it all hits me like a freight train at the same time that grief doesn't pause for motherhood or parenting. Life still goes on. The house still needs cleaned, laundry still needs washed, meals still need cooked. Mom life doesn't ever stop for nothing or nobody. Next thing I want to hit on that personally gets me every time is the jealousy seeing other moms with their moms. That one definitely hits me super hard. But I feel like I just try to always strongly suggest and recommend to them to never ever take that time, for granted with their mom. And I mean, I think to myself, does that make me annoying? Maybe to some, but to be completely honest, I don't really care because it's the facts of life. And I remind myself that they will understand when they no longer have their mom. And real quick, here's a mom to mom message. You can still be deeply grateful for your children and still deeply miss your mom at the same time. Both things can live in the same heart. So now let's honor mom through motherhood. Perhaps that might be parenting styles inspired by your mom, saying things your mom used to say, cooking her recipes, teaching your kids about grandma, traditions passed down, and keeping our memory alive. I'll share one of mine, or even a few of mine. But first, I will say that I'm really big on keeping my mom's memory alive and teaching my baby about grandma. So, first and foremost, I love to carry on my mom's traditions and her recipes. That's actually where I feel the closest to mom. And I feel that it's actually very important, especially because I'm trying to instill it in my own little girl and have her do the same if something was to ever happen to me. And she can carry on myself and her grandma. And when it's unfortunately that time for her, that she'll be able to do it so she can feel the closest to the both of us. So I want y'all to ask yourselves, what part of your mom lives in the way you love your children? So now we're going to move on to the support and the coping. And here's some general coping ideas that I'm going to pass down to y'all. Number one, that I really love is creating the memory rituals with your children. As I stated before, it gives me such a familiar, calming, and close feeling to my mom when I create those memory rituals with my little lady, and that my mom and I used to do together. It even brings me a feeling of nostalgia, which is another great feeling. Number two, write letters to your mom. I have heard previously from others that this can be extremely healing and get the feeling of the closeness, and it helps tremendously with the feelings of grief. Thirdly, therapy and grief groups. Now, I know that therapy isn't for everyone, and that's totally okay, but it can't really hurt, right? Now, next, find yourself some mentor figures or chosen moms. I know from personal experience that this most definitely helps because I have chosen moms in my corner and I honestly don't know what I would do without them. And last but certainly not least, and I mean this with my whole heart, give yourself permission to have grace and grieve differently. Not everyone grieves the same, and no one understands that it's totally okay. And that is something that I've had to learn the very hard way over the course of the years and seeing other people in their past lose their mothers. And I'll admit that I was pretty selfish in thinking that they should have just gotten over their grief faster and moved on. Then I learned rather quickly after my mom's passing that's not how grief works. And it's not something that just passes so quickly after the mother passes away. So here's where I'm going to give a little encouragement. There's no right timeline for grief and no wrong way to carry your mom with you. So, momming on. Remember a couple weeks ago, I asked y'all to share some things a couple episodes ago, and then I would share them anonymously, or if you would like, you can share your information with the story, and I would shout you out in the next episode. Well, we're doing that again. I would absolutely love it if y'all could share your memories of your mothers, even share the answer to what is something your mom taught you that you now teach your children. As long as with the previous questions, you can add those in as well. Um, so you can just put them all together. And again, I will either put them on anonymously or with your name and your information, whichever you choose. Um, But here is the closing reflection and affirmations. To the mama listening who feels alone today, you're not mothering without guidance. You're mothering with legacy. You are allowed to grieve and grow at the same time. Your children are learning your mom's love through you, and you are stronger than you realize. Your motherhood is still beautiful, even in grief. So thank you so much for sitting with me today on the Mom Brew podcast. If this episode touched your heart, please share it with another mama who might need to hear she's not alone. And as always, give a follow, like, and subscribe to the channel at The Mom Brew on YouTube, TikTok, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast viewing pleasure. And as always, keep brewing up love, strength, and patience, one strong cup and one strong mom at a time. We'll see y'all later.